Excited. And of course, the mute button was on. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Carlsbad Report. My name is Steve Olson. This is episode one. Even though we've been doing this on a national level for quite a while, we're launching this right now in Carlsbad, and my intent is to give you guys everything that you need to know around what is going on in Carlsbad, specifically from a real estate perspective. We do everything from take your questions live. You guys submit them, I'll answer them live on the show. Talk a little bit about the development news of Carlsbad, everything that's going on in the market and what you need to know going forward. We're going to talk about new listings every single day. One of the easiest ways that we as real estate agents can learn the market is that we look at the inventory every day and just to get a feel for what's coming on the market, what's coming off the market, what type of stuff is getting listed, where are we at in seasonality chart later on this week. Maybe tomorrow I'll go over why the market is doing what the market's doing. We got a couple things today. Number one, I'm going to talk about SB79, how that affects Carlsbad. We have some really good news for you on there. We've got two questions, one about showing expectations, another one about what is included in the sale when we do it. And yesterday in Carlsbad, there were 6 new listings that were launched, so we'll talk about those. Okay, this was probably one of the most dominant things that we've got that have come through so far. Is this new SB 10 or 1079 SB79 law? Gavin Newsom signed this into effect or into active status. Signed this into law. I don't know how you say that. Back a few days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. You guys have probably seen the status. We're getting a ton of questions in about this. Ton of stuff on social, and a lot of people in Carlsbad are very. I don't know if the word upset is the right word. Maybe concerned is the right word. I don't know, but they're concerned. So what is SB 79? Essentially what happened is you guys, if you live here, you know that Carlsbad has a very big disparity of income to housing going on right now. We have a shortage of housing, even though inventory is climbing up. And there needs to be more options for people that are coming into the market to have options. Now, I've got my own opinion about this, especially in certain markets that are very expensive in regards to how do you try to regulate housing. I'll talk about that in future episodes. But let's talk about SB 79 specifically. What it is it is allowing developers with fast track permits to be able to develop real estate around specific transit stations like 5, 6, 7, 8 story buildings, apartments, not necessarily condos and homes for sale. This would be rental housing, so that there are a lot of people that can live by these transit stations and commute over to Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego, some of the main hubs. What people aren't reading right now, the interesting about this is the 2 transit stations we have here in Carlsbad right now are not affected by this because they are not hub transit stations. They are coaster stops and light Amtrak stops. They are not major hubs. So in Carlsbad specifically, the one up in Carlsbad Village and the one at Poinsettia Station, the next one south of Poinsettia Station is already at Encinitas. There's nothing down at Ponto. I don't believe they are planning on building a stop with all the new development going on at Ponto. I'd have to look into that and get back to you guys on that. Somebody asked that question the other day. I don't have an answer for that, but I'm 99% sure there are no plans to build a transit station at Ponto. It's way too close to Poinsettia, so I don't really know why they would do that, but maybe that's in the works. I don't know. So good news is in Carlsbad, California, we do not have to worry about the effects of SB 79. I know specifically at the Poinsettia station, there's that huge plot of land just next to the Porsche dealership. And so I think everybody's like, oh my gosh, is that going to be all apartments? And listen, in the future, that may all be apartments there. I have no idea what's going in there. We'll do some research and get back to you on that. But as SB 79 currently sits, I'll put this article in the description after we're done going live. This will not affect Carlsbad, California, which I think is great. And by the way, if you guys ever have a question that you want me to answer live on this show, then just go to steveolsongroup.com/ask below, and then you can submit your question. I will email you the day that question is going to go live. And we will also email you the final episode once we answer those questions. Really easy way for you to get unstuck in Carlsbad real estate, but maybe you're not quite at that level where you want to commit to buying or selling. You just have questions about that. That would be a very easy way to do that. So that's SB 1079 or SB 79. There was an SB 1079 a while ago that was very dramatic a couple years ago. I can't remember what it is. I keep wanting to say that in my head every time I rip this off. All right, let's get to question number 1. This question is from David in Carlsbad, California. His question was a little long. This was a little summarized on it, but the question was, if I'm thinking about selling my home specifically in October, November, December, how many showings should I expect? And it's a great question because if you guys live in Carlsbad, California, you know the later part of the year, The velocity of sales tend to slow down. The listings tend to go up, and less homes are selling with more inventory on the market. I think the right question you should be asking is not necessarily how many showings I should get. It's how do I get as many of those showings locked up or scheduled right when we go on the market, ideally within the first like 4 days. If we can get, and there's a lot of analytics, I've been doing this for 20 years, thousands of home sales. And if we can get as many people to see that home, David, like in a very short amount of time, right when it lists, statistically speaking, just because everybody knows there are home like that home is new on the market, and they know there are other people that are looking at it. Sometimes just the idea or the understanding that somebody else wants to see it just after or just below causes people to take action quicker than normally they would in what we would call like a down winter season type of market. It's not going to cause somebody to buy your home that doesn't want to buy your home. It's not going to cause somebody to pay a higher price, although if you do it right, it will. What it's really going to do is somebody who's kind of on the fence or they really want it, it's going to cause them to take action quicker. And when people take action quicker, it's easier for them to pay the price that you probably want, assuming it's within like market dynamics of Carlsbad. So right now in October, November, December, a well-priced home that's turnkey. And David did not send me his home, so I have no idea what part of Carlsbad or what price point you're looking at, David. If it's a condo, a townhome, or single family, but assuming it's turnkey, it's in really good condition, and it's priced along with where the market is going right now. We're not going up, we're not going down. We're kind of just in this hesitant market. And if you look at the numbers, we'll talk about this tomorrow on Carlsbad's market report. It does look like we're trending down, but most of it is seasonality, so I wouldn't freak out over that. I think that if you can get 6 to 10 showings in the first 10 days, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. If you have a really good pre-launch strategy and you do a lot of advertising, you and your real estate agent does a lot of advertising before it hits the market, and then right when we hit the market, like within 12 hours, there's already activity on the listing, then you know you probably marketed correctly, you probably priced it correctly, and that's a really good sign. If you list your home for sale, nothing happens for 48 hours, it's probably not the market. It's probably a condition issue. It's probably a marketing issue, and it's probably a pricing issue. And that's pretty, like 48 hours, especially in a market right now. That tells you almost everything that you need to know. So again, David, 4 to 10 showings first 4 days, I think is what we're shooting for. And as long as everybody else who's seeing the home knows there are other showings scheduled, that will tell you in regards to a velocity perspective where that is going and if you're on track. If you list your home 48 hours into it, nothing's happening, I'd probably talk to your agent and say, hey, maybe we need to redo the marketing. Is it a pricing issue? Have you gotten any feedback? Any of that fun stuff. And I think that would be very equitable for you to have that conversation. Hey, let me interrupt this episode really quick and let you know that if you're thinking about selling your home in 2025 or 2026 in Carlsbad, California, and you want the cheat code of how to sell for a record price in record time, click the link in the description below. It's steveolsongroup.com/sell, and we'll give you the entire process that will make this super easy and equitable, even in a market like 2025 or 2026. So click the link in the description, download the guide, let me know if you have any questions, and let's get back to the episode. Okay, so the next question, this is a really, we run into this all the time. This is not one of our clients. Michaela, it sounds like you're under contract right now, or you're about ready to operate or write a contract. And the question was, when we're writing that contract and we're going through the home, like how do we know what's included with that home and how do we know what's not included? And number one, like anytime you ever have a question around what's included or when the closing is or anything like that, your first thing is to go to the contract, right? So whatever the real estate contract, assuming you use the California purchase agreement, what we call this the RPA, the residential purchase agreement in California, assuming you're using that doc, which you always should use when buying a home in Carlsbad, California, that's going to outline exactly what is included. So let's say nothing was changed. You leave the doc, the contract as it is. There's a purchase price, there's all that stuff. And you're like, okay, well, now what do we do? Well, typically everything that is physically mounted to the house is included. So we're talking blinds, we're talking shutters, appliances, like let's say the microwave is hung on the wall, the range, all of that stuff is included. The refrigerator is typically not included. You need to ask for the refrigerator. There's a little box you can check on that. Window treatments are included with that, stuff outside. If there's a TV hanging on the wall outside, if there's a TV hanging on the wall in the home, there's a little bit of gray area in that. And so if you tour the home and the home has TVs on the wall, and let's see that it looks like like it's custom built in, like you can definitely tell like the TV goes with the home. Then to be safe in the contract, I would make sure they know that, hey, we're writing this price at these terms and this time, and we want the TVs included. We want the refrigerator included. We want the washer and dryer included. Now, if the washer and dryer are not included in the sale, I think that's totally okay. I don't necessarily think if somebody doesn't want to include the washer and dryer, like I wouldn't look at that as a negative. I would actually assume that most of the time the washer and dryer and the refrigerator are not going to be included in the sale. That typically goes with the homeowner to the next home, assuming it fits. But everything in California in regards to writing a purchase contract, everything, including the terms in the contract, is fully negotiable, right? So if you're already under contract right now, whatever the contract states is what needs to happen, right? So let's say there was a mistake on the contract. Let's say that there was a verbal understanding that the refrigerator was going to be included in the sale, but in the contract, it was not in there. It's really simple to adapt that. Have your real estate agent write an addendum that says, we're correcting the purchase contract to include the refrigerator. It needs to go to the listing agent. The listing agent, client, the seller of the home, they need to sign that. This needs to be mutually agreed on that. If they don't sign it, it's not included. But if it is a misunderstanding, we can always clean that up with an addendum after. And that happens, from time to time because things move quick and all that happens. We want to be a conduit to the sale, and we want to make sure that we do this in the right way. If it's not in the contract, just assume it's not included unless stated otherwise. But if there's a misunderstanding, have the agents have a communication back and forth first before we send agreements over, because we don't want things to go crazy. And then if the buyer and the seller agree to include something that maybe wasn't on the contract, it's a really simple signature. You give that over to escrow, and then a close of escrow. Everything happens. I can't tell you how many times in the past we have closed escrow, and the buyer takes keys of the home, both me on the listing side of the transaction and on the buyer side of the transaction, and the buyer goes to do their walkthrough, or they're excited, they get the keys, they go right to the home, and they say, hey, we're missing a ceiling fan, and the fridge is gone, and we thought the grill that was attached to the outdoor barbecue, like that whole outdoor kitchen was included. They're gone. So we call the other agent, and the other agent calls the seller, and the seller's like, oh, I had no idea those were included. Yeah, we took those, and we're already on our way to wherever, right? So there's got to be some stuff that we can go back and forth. So make sure that if something's really, really important to you, review the contract. If you think there's some gray area around it, Michaela, then just reach out to the other agent, or have your agent reach out to the other agent, have a conversation around it, clean it up with an addendum. That way, when you actually close on the home, everything is happy, and you're not super stressed out around that, because this is already as stressful as it needs to be. You guys have probably figured this out by now, but it can be cleaned up really simple with an addendum. So I hope that answers it, Michaela. I will email you this after we go live. Any questions, let us know. Okay, let's talk about listings. I want to talk about this every day. We haven't done this before. I don't do a whole lot of research before I do this, because I want to do this with you guys, so that you can kind of see about how, or you can learn about how we think about the market and look at that. So since yesterday, and I know it says January 9th on the top of the iPad, it is not January 9th. That is a little glitch, and it's also not 9:41 a.m. But it defaults to that when you share your screen. Maybe that's just maybe that's something that happened in Apple. Maybe that's an important day. I have no idea. But these are the stats from yesterday, or everything that's been listed from yesterday. It says 8. That means 2 listings were listed since we went live, which is great. We're only going to talk about 6. I think, these are the 6 that actually got listed, even though this says 8 up here. The number this morning, I want to highlight this number, and this is the number I want to talk about over and over and over again, is $738 a square foot. So this is kind of like our gauge over where the market is going day by day. Now, this is all condos. This is all townhomes. This is all single family. Land is included. I don't think there are any land listings that happened yesterday, so we don't have to worry about that. So this is a blended number. Obviously, for condos and townhomes, the number is going to be much lower. For single family detached homes, the number is going to be much higher. This is a blended number, and to prevent these videos from going on, for days and days and days, we're just going to use that to blend everything. So let's take a look at the homes, and you can see like days on market over here. It's all 1 day or 0 days. This is pretty quick. The highest home that was listed was 2.9. By the way, this is very common this time of the year. We typically don't see the more expensive homes hit the market the last 3 or months of the year. They do get listed, but a little bit less. If you are looking to buy a home and it's the end of the year, the agent that you're working with 100% has to have a strategy to identify homes that are not on the market. I think that the fourth quarter of any given year is by far the best time to buy a home. It's probably the most stressful time to buy a home. Kids are in school. We have holidays coming up. We have vacations, time off, all that fun stuff. I get it. But if you want the best deal and you want the least amount of competition, September, October, November, December, and January are by far the best time to buy a home. In my opinion, if you have questions about that, you can use the link in the description and I can walk you through it. So let's go through these listings. I want you to note something, right? Because we want to look at this the same way that we look at Zillow. This is really important. The first thing that people see when they look at homes for sale, the very first thing they see is not the address, it's not the price, it's not the active status, it's the front image of the home. Okay, so if you can look at all of these when you're listing your home for sale, this is really important. Understand that that key image is like your audition. This is your audition for a click, and this is on realtor.com. You're looking at the actual MLS that we use as real estate agents here. It's true for Zillow. It's true for Trulia, homes.com. It's all the same. The first picture on your listing is the audition. And what I mean by the audition, this is going to dictate, is this image good enough for me to click and learn more about this property? So I think today's are very good. This home over on Alexandria Circle, this is a great home. I'm excited to look about that. This looks like it's just the entrance of this. Maybe there wasn't a really good photo of the property. It's really small. I would make that much closer in if you guys are thinking about listing. This is a great thing about the formal area. Great picture of the front of the house. Again, there's the entryway. This shows that this is right by that. Looks like Bataquitos and Tamarack right there. So, or maybe a little bit north of that. Kapalti, yeah, that's exactly where that is, right? So this is a good audition photo because it tells you, hey, this unit is probably close to the water. There's a big walkway right here. The ocean's right over there. Like, this is a really, really, really good photo. It's going to get clicks. So let's go line by line on all of these. And I think, again, I didn't go through these before you. Great condition on the home. Shows really well. I love these ceilings. You see those a lot in Mediterranean and Santa Barbara type homes. And I know this is older and they probably got those exposed. That looks really good. Love that. Bedroom looks awesome. Bathroom looks awesome. Good courtyard with an attached garage. It looks like washer and dryer. There's the attached garage. Water. Water, 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 water. When in doubt, the number one thing that will dictate whether you make money in real estate when you buy and sell, especially in Carlsbad, California, is your proximity to water or a view, right? You guys have heard people say like, oh, location, location, location. I wouldn't go that far. Let's look at the map. And there it is, just like it states in the photo. Oh, Buena Vista Lagoon, not Bataquitos. And then there is, yeah, on the very north side of Carlsbad. Yep, Otahengua. I could never say that right, ever. So that was not Tamarack. That is on the north side of the lagoon. Very, very, very north side of Carlsbad Village. Great area. I love that area. Super walkable. There's ton to do. Like the restaurants and food in Carlsbad Village. I know you guys all know it's next level. 1,025,000. One thing I'm not going to do on this is I'm not going to give my opinion on condition or price because it's just an opinion. And to do this on the fly to tell you that I think this is a good deal or not would be unserving to you. But that got listed yesterday, north side of Carlsbad. Here's the other one that I said was at Tamarack. Let's see if I was at least right on that one with looking at the photos. Yep, there's Tamarack right there. So again, this is a great area. There's a lot of water here. If you guys have kids at Carlsbad High School or in middle school, they're probably fishing in this all the time. They fish at Tamarack, especially over here where all the barges are and the previous oyster farm that I think is no longer in service. And then rest in peace our famous smokestack, which is gone. Some people love that thing. Some people hate it. I think it's like our state mascot. So condition of this home. Again, great. Pictures show great, super clean, no clutter. No clutter. That is so important. When you guys take pictures of the home, it is so important to allow people to see how they would live in the home, not how you would live in the home. These pictures do an amazing job of that. No clutter. It's set up really well. This is probably a staged home. If it's not, the owners did a great job of cleaning this on and or cleaning this up and neutralizing this for sale. Yeah, there's nothing in the laundry room. So Great job on that. This is a townhome and it's listed at 1,055,000. The other one was 1,075,000. Was I right? 1,025,000 for another townhome. We've got this one on Slinda, 2.15 million. I think this is right back by Carrillo. No, this is on Carlsbad Village, just back by the mall. Great location. That might back. Does that back the road? It does, but there's a big hill right here. So even though that looks like, oh, there's a lot of traffic, you may not be able to hear it there. That's pretty up. Amazing pool. This definitely wins the pool award for the day. I love that pool. Great backyard. Yep, there's that hill I'm talking about. So you may be above that traffic. Right, very tip. Oh, like a little pond in the front. That's cool. Very unique. Love the wood floors. Paint's great. Again, we're 3 for 3 on staging right now. Like this is amazing. Meaning, like, I can walk in here, I know exactly how to lay it. There's nothing worse than showing a home to somebody, and then they're like, "What would you use this room for?" Like, that's a really hard. That means they're confused and they don't understand how it is. Staging prevents all of that. They know, like, oh, this is the formal room, this is the family room, this is where the TV goes. If I have a pool table, this is where that goes. Really good. Good formal sitting area right there. Again, pool is awesome. Looks like it's in great condition. It's got a spa, got a waterfall. That waterfall is definitely going to help with any noise that does come up that hill. So that was a really good move by that seller. Oh, love the bathroom. Love the trail railing, the tile on the floors. It's great. It's a great home. If you like this area and you want a pool and this is within your budget, like I think that's a great option. I'll put that in the link below. So whoever's listing that one and the seller of that, great job on that. I think you did an amazing job. Let's go to, this looks to be another townhome. Let's see where this is at. Yep, this is going to be just at Palomar and Melrose. So you've got the airport just over here. Don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. If you ever want to know, just go and you know sit out there. Great area, Rancho Carrillo. Carrillo Elementary School is right over here. You've got Bresci Ranch over here with a ton of great food. A lot of stuff to do. Great community, especially during Halloween. If you guys haven't seen Pirates Row, just go right over here. It's on this street right there, and you can take a look at that. So great location on that. And let's see if we can continue the success on photo. Yeah, super clean. Yeah, that looks like it's virtual staged. Virtually staged is totally okay. And all virtual staging is we put, through AI, we put furniture in the home so that you can see how this would live. Looks like the carpet's been cleaned. The wood floors are in great condition. That might be laminate. I can't tell either way. Again, there's staging of that. This is a very clean property. So love that. Pricing on this one is 765,000 for 1199 square feet. If we go back to this one, this was 1194 square feet. This was 1660. So at 1055, this is a good value based on this, and I think the location of this is really good. Location of that one's really good as well. However, this is about the same square footage, a little bit farther away from the water. Obviously, not really what you would call coastal, but much newer build, 2 beds as opposed to 3 beds. But around the same, you're saving $250,000 on that. I think that's going to be really hard price wise to get hurt on long term. Like I think there's a lot of upside with those townhomes, especially with how much everything's costing today, and interest rates. Can't forget about interest rates. Okay, let's look at Levante. This is right off Levante. If we scroll out or zoom out really quick, this is on the La Costa side, which is great if you guys are familiar with La Costa. Super great area. I think this is Meadows Elementary School. I'm pretty sure that's right next to the elementary school. Great elementary school. My kids, when they were younger, we played soccer and football there all the time. Such a great area. You've got La Costa Town Square right over here. You've got a movie theater. There's a Sinopolis. If you've got teenagers, like there's a Chipotle right there. Really good Vons. There's a gas station. So yeah, pretty much all of that is walkable right there, which is a great area. Again, like we're crushing it on pools today. What a great pool. Great deck, got a spa. Looks like the overview is good. Kitchen, that's clearly been remodeled relatively recently. Cabinets are great. Ceilings are vaulted. Lighting's great. That's a great kitchen. Great floors. Again, staged. I can easily see how I would live there. This totally makes sense to me. Walks right out to the pool. Molding's really white. Everything's clean. Great paint colors. Yeah, it's a great home. Stackable washer and dryer. Got some steps right in there. Yeah, they did a good job with this. So I lied. I am going to talk about condition. But yeah, I like this a lot. Backyards are important. You know, if you really want a sound investment long term in Carlsbad, backyards are super important. Yes, as we get closer to the ocean, it gets harder. Less room. This is a great backyard. Yeah, you can definitely tell. There's the school right there. So you do border the school. You're going to hear some of that playing. You know, that for some people, they love that. Yep, that's exactly where I thought it was. Right. So it looks like this home is right here. So it is a border of a school. If your kids go to the school, if you've got age that like this is going to be the most convenient home you could possibly buy. I think the backyard more than makes up for it, though. I really do. Like I think this is a winning home. It is 2,000. How big was the home? 2,200 square feet. 1,895,000. I think they did a really good job of the remodel. You know, depending on when that's gone, when that was done. That's on Levante Street. I'll put a link below that as well. Last but not least. Okay, cool. We have the entrance to the complex. Again, I probably would have used a different photo on this one. On Alexandria Circle. This is right off Poinsettia, not too far from, yep, probably right across the street from, is this right by Daybreak? Yeah, Daybreak is right here. And yeah, so walking distance to Daybreak Church. This is Aviar Park, where if you have kids that play at City SC, this is probably where they practice. So that's important to you. You can walk them over to that. I don't know if that's important, but there's a baseball field right here. There's a park. There's basketball. There's a soccer field. There are restrooms. It's a pretty good park. It's got great views, great location. It's in what I would call the greater Aviara area. So Aviara Oaks Elementary School, Aviara Oaks Middle School, Carlsbad High School, or Sage. Open enrollment. Wide open patio, which is great. Good bathroom. Like I said, you got an office. Yeah, everything. Yeah, those are cool floors. Oh, I love that tile. That's cool. All right, kitchen's easy, nice and open. It's white. Granite looks like it's in great shape. Got shutters. Shutters are awesome. Those of you got like shutters are an all or nothing deal. I personally love shutters. Some people don't like them. I think shutters are great. They always hold their value. The ROI is great. Community pool is awesome. It's gated. Um, Washer and dryer right on the entrance. This is, let's see how many beds and baths this is. I didn't see that when we started this. 3 beds, 3 baths. That's great. Yeah, and again, here we are again, 1,604 square feet for about 1,000,003. So location's great. Right down Poinsettia, you can go right to campgrounds. You can go right to Ponto. You can go right to Dip in the Road. You can go over to Turnarounds or Tamarack. It's a very easy artery to get right down to the water. Easy access to Bressie Ranch. We'll go back to the map. If you guys want coffee, if you're coffee people, then this is going to be really close to La Costa Coffee. So we're going to take Poinsettia down to El Camino over to Aviara. And then right here on the corner next to Beach Plum, this little building right here, there's La Costa Coffee, there's Beach Plum. There's I think this is a Ralph's. No, this is a Vaughn's right here. You've got Tin Leaf. You've got the new taco place there, which is legit. You've got Notorious Bagels and Notorious Burger, or Inglorious Bagels and Notorious Burger. Awesome, awesome, awesome food. So you've got Alexandria's. I don't know if I'm saying that right here. Mexican restaurant. That's awesome Mexican food right there. That's a really good area. So location wise, I think this is good. I think that's a good location for it if you're looking for a townhome. 1,600 square feet, 1.3 million. Crazy that we're talking about 1.3 million for townhomes right now, but this is the market we're in. And the harsh reality that's it. So those are the 6 listings for today. I will put the link of all of those below so that you guys can download those, look at those. If you have any questions, just go to steveolsongroup.com/ask, like I'm putting on the bottom, and I'll answer your questions live. You can also go to that same site, ask me questions directly, or schedule a time. I'm happy to help you answer anything that you need to further your journey within Carlsbad real estate. My name is Steve Olson. This is the Carlsbad Report. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you live tomorrow. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Carlsbad Report. If you have not already, there is a link in the description below to go to a page that looks just like this We send one email out every single Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and it is everything that you need to know to stay in front of the Carlsbad real estate market. It's totally free. It's one email a month. There's no obligation. You don't even need to use us as your real estate team. I just want to make sure you're informed of everything that's going on, and you can unsubscribe anytime. So click the link below, register for the email. It's Thursdays at 2 o'clock. It's read by thousands. I know you're going to love it, and we'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, check out related video above or consider subscribing to the channel. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next one.